Hi, my name is Bethany, and welcome to an episode of The Library. I'm so glad you're here. Yesterday, I did an episode on books for teenagers because it was a request, and then I got a follow-up request about books for 10-year-olds. They like fantasy. So I thought, let me just grab a few books that are about fantasy. And y'all, I got 2 stacks of books. So we got a lot to go through. I would say these books are great for ages 10 to 12. So encouraging kids to be readers is one of my most favorite things. And I get really excited when a kid says to me, I like to read and I need more books, because I was that kid who needed more books. And so I'm very excited about this. Also, this is a moment of vanity, but y'all, I don't know what's happening with my hair today. It's like super voluminous. I did nothing at all. If you have curly hair, you know, you live in this world. Okay, let's get started, shall we? If you think for a moment, I'm not going to start the day off recommending my favorite series for my favorite author. Are we even friends? I'm going to start it off with this. Hey, 10-year-old, if you have not read the Chronicles of Narnia, you should read it. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the first book of the series. Read the whole thing. Read the whole series. And this guy right here, he's one of my most favorite characters in the entire Chronicles of Narnia. You can't get better than reading C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis wrote this for his goddaughter, Lucy, and named the main character after her. Also, did you know that they make a kids edition of Sherlock Holmes? Well, they do, and this series is fantastic. And my own personal 10-year-old, he is mine, loves this series and has read it multiple times. And so this is just such a great, this is the Red-Headed League Sherlock Holmes. Basically, they just take Sherlock Holmes books. Hold on. You know I don't like for you to see me sneeze. Okay, I'm back. They just take the Sherlock Holmes books and just make it for kids, adapted for kids. It's fantastic. Do you want to get stuck in a museum? Well, then you should read from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. If you're not familiar with Chris Gaberston's work, let me tell you, he's a gem of an author. And this book is called Mr. Limoncello's Library. It's a series and it's fantastic. And it's a game inside a library. You are gonna go for the ride of your life with this book. Okay, this book is so fun. It's called Adventures with Waffles, and it was translated from Norwegian, and it's so delightful. This author has written several books, but Adventures with Waffles is one of my personal favorites. If you haven't read Kate DiCamillo, you need to read everything by Kate DiCamillo. Start with Flora and Ulysses, and then you can go on to her other works, and you just can't go wrong. Pick up a Kate DiCamillo book and read it. You might need tissues. If we're talking about fantasy, let's talk about Roald Dahl. These are just a few of my favorites. Matilda, a girl who loves books. Say less. The BFG is actually one of my favorite books of all time. And then James and the Giant Peach. And I didn't grab Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but if you've seen the movie, you should read the books. The One and Only Ivan series by Catherine Applegate. Wait, I don't even have it. Okay, so this is all the other books in the series, but The One and Only Ivan is the first book in the series, and it's based on a true story, and these are kind of like a play off of the rest of the characters. Fantastic. My children love these books. S.D. Smith is an author that I am a big fan of. He wrote this book called Mooses with Bazookas, but he also wrote a really good series called The Green Ember. Just go ahead and just plan to read everything that S.D. Smith has ever written. He's phenomenal. Did you think that we were going to get through this video without me recommending this book? Because no, definitely not. The Hobbit. At 10 years old, you can read The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. He wrote this book and they marketed for kids 10 to 12. So you're not too young to read about the hobbits. Do you know that when this book was written, the world did not know what a hobbit was. He literally created a new character, and within this, a new genre. You like fantasy because of J.R.R. Tolkien. So read The Hobbit. That was stack 1. We have stack 2 to go. Are you ready? I'm so excited about this. Have you read The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place? It's about a book. It's a book about a group of siblings who were raised by wolves, and then they have to become humans. I mean, they're already humans, but they have to go back living with humans. This is book 1, The Mysterious Howling. How about A Dragon's Guide to Making Your Humans Smarter? This book is by Lawrence Yelp and Joanne Ryder. It says it's illustrated. Let's see. The Labors of Hercules Real. This kid knows that he's named after a superhero, a mythical superhero, but then like he somehow gets hero like superpowers. This book is by Gary Schmidt. He's got a lot of other good books too, so like you can't go wrong. Okay, hold on, I'm about to sneeze again. I'm really sorry, guys. Okay, have you read The Winged Feather Saga by Andrew Peterson? I think they've made this into a TV series or a movie or something, but this is the first book of the series, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. This is book 1. So start with this one, and then he's got more books to go. You can't go wrong. Oh, look. I threw in the second book about the incorrigible children of Ashton Place. This is called The Hidden Gallery. So, you know, I'm trying to tell you, read this book. And then I also threw in a second book about Chris Gabberston because I couldn't find the first one. There's some repeats here. Okay, The Vanderbeekers of 141st Street by Karina Jan Glazer is not fantastical. It's not fantasy books, but it is a book about a family that lives in this brownstone. And they, in and of themselves, are magical. And I'm not talking about like magic as far as like fantasy magic. I'm just talking about the family dynamics. It's magical. And I know that the 10-year-old who requested this video has siblings, so there's probably a lot that you can relate. They get into delightful adventures. There's a whole series here, so if you've not read about the Vanderbeekers, you should read about the Vanderbeekers. It says right here that it's delightful and heartwarming, and that it is. It is a joy to read. I know you're probably very familiar with this movie that's come out. It's a TV series as well, How to Train Your Dragon. But did you know that there's an extensive book series about How to Train Your Dragon? And here's the thing, the book is always better. Well, I say the book is always better with 2 exceptions. One being Mary Poppins is the much better movie over the book. The book is horrible, and the movie is wonderful. And then Peter Pan, which is also classic, but Disney, when it created the Peter Pan movie, really did us all a favor because the book is not great. So, How to Train Your Dragon, if you like the movies, you'll probably like the books more, right? Okay. Indy Wilson, he wrote this book called The Dragon's Tooth, and this is the first in his Ashton Burial series. But he wrote a lot of other books as well. So if you're looking for really good fantasy, just fast-paced adventure books, you're gonna like him. You're gonna like Indy Wilson. He's great. Let's do a major throwback. Redwall. This is a really old series, but it is a really good book about a very courageous character. Okay, a few more books. The 13-Story Treehouse is one of my family's most favorite series. These two authors, or this author and illustrator, Andy and Terry, they play themselves in this book. And they create the idea of what do you do if you have the best treehouse in the entire world? And you make it 13 stories. And then each book after that, they add 13 more stories to the book. So the first one is 13-Story Treehouse. The second is 26-Story Treehouse. You see what I'm going with? Anyways, Terry and Andy get into a lot of hilarious adventures. This is it's illustrated. So it's like a lot of graphic novels. It's great. You can't go wrong with this one. I don't know that I would necessarily say this is fantasy, but it is fun to read, which is the Timmy Failure series. This is a movie, but again, the movie is better, or the book is better. Timmy Failure, that's his name. But he's out to prove that he's actually not a failure. And there's like 7 or 8 books, maybe 6 or 7 books in his series. And so, you know what? Let's see the greatness of Timmy Failure. And then last, but certainly not least, now the cover's gone because we got a hardback and my son took the cover off. But this book is called, this is book 1 of Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rendell. Look how pretty this is inside it. Anyways, there's book 2 is out. If you like the hardbacks without the cover, it's beautiful still, as you can see. But if you like dragons, here you go. One of the greatest things that a kid can do is read. And so I am so happy to know that there are readers out there. And I know that it's not like, we're not as popular as we once were, but I'm glad that I have an audience of kids who are like, hey, I want to know what books I should read next. Because if you were like me, there was never enough books. So happy reading.